Brooke has built one of the biggest platforms on TikTok just by being herself. She posts relatable skits, get ready with me's, Christian content, and the type of casual videos that feel like you're FaceTiming a friend. She keeps it PG, she talks openly about her faith. She even said she wants to stay modest and focus on positivity online. And yet, for some reason, she's always in the middle of controversy. People accuse her of body checking. They claim she's faking modesty. She gets flooded with creepy comments on innocent videos just for making eye contact with the camera or wearing a tank top. She's not posting test traps, she's not trying to be edgy, but the way people respond to her content says a lot about the internet that it does about Brooke. So why does someone so unproblematic become such a lightning rod for criticism over this word and constant nitpicking? So what is it about Brooke that turns harmless videos into hot takes? Why is someone so unproblematic constantly the center of controversy, obsession, and criticism? Let's dive into it. My last video was about Natalie Reynolds, and in there I talked about how Natalie was copying Brooke back to back, but then I later realized when I dug more into it that that's not the only thing that Brooke has been dragged into controversy for. And while researching, I realized that most of the time, if not all the time, Brooke is never at fault for whatever controversy she's being dragged into. And it's beyond crazy to me how many controversies she has been in, even though she's not doing anything wrong. With that being said, let's get into it. Who is Brooke Monk? Brooke Monk, born January 31st, 2003. She is a lip sync and dance content creator, known for posting short videos on her Brooke Monk TikTok account. Most of her videos feature relatable content for the average high school student. She has over 37 million fans on the platform. Brooke Monk also has a YouTube channel with 9 million subscribers and over 9 billion views. These numbers are just crazy to me. As you can see, she's really successful and a lot of people like her. She carries this clean, Christian, girl next door TikToker kind of vibe. People genuinely feel happy when they're watching her videos according to what I've seen so far. She makes skits that are relatable and she hardly copies anybody. She doesn't hang out with problematic people. She's very uncontroversial. Her Christian persona ties this all together because these days people like to see influencers that appreciate God, because let's just say it is quite rare. And let's not forget that Brooke has extremely long, silky looking hair and she is so beautiful. Her eyes are very attractive. She is the embodiment of what they call the beauty standard. I'm very talked about how when pretty gets you everything, but I don't think Brooke just blew up because she was pretty, because she was quite relatable and people love seeing, again, I'll say it one more time, people love seeing pretty people be relatable. The people that follow her are mostly young teenagers because every time in her comment section people are always looking up to her, saying that they want to be like her, they want to look like her. She's extremely beautiful and there's nothing wrong with you appreciating a beautiful woman, but that's exactly what people are doing. How do I know that they're mostly young teenagers? Because young teenagers constantly need an inspiration to look up to, a role model. Let's just add like that. I already talked about this in my video about the grown-up teen problem that's currently happening, so you can go check that out. But in today's age, young girls need a role model to look up to, someone they want to be like. And as you could see, Brooke is already an adult. She's 22 years old, so she's the perfect target. Let's not say target, but let's just say perfect role model to these young girls. Speaking of role model, let's talk about the body checking controversy. First off, what is body checking? Body checking can be defined as a frequent or repetitive behavior in which someone monitors their physical appearance, including size, weight, shape, or other features of certain body parts. This can take many forms, including pinching or measuring specific areas like your stomach, arms, and thighs, examining your face or body close up in the mirror for long periods of time, standing on a scale to weigh yourself several times throughout the day. Now, why do people think Brooke is body checking? I did a little analysis on this and this is what I was able to gather. There is currently an epidemic of people snacking on influencers that are slim or let's just say thin but have bigger boobs. People feel like it looks unnatural on them, or maybe they went to get plastic surgery. So unintentionally, Brooke got added into that mix. But whenever she stands or whenever she makes a video, anytime she wears, let's just say, a crop top or a normal top that is showing her boobs, then boom, people just think that she's body checking and she wants validation from other people, like showing off her body and so on and so forth.
Okay, to add to all this, I think you guys should already be familiar with Leah Houghton, the girl that went viral by just looking at the camera and lip syncing to a song. Yeah, that's Leah Houghton. What confuses me so much is that Leah Houghton dresses way worse than Brooke Monk, like on a whole different scale. I understand that Leah Houghton is 2 years older than Brooke Monk. She's 24 years old, and I don't really see much people talking about how she dresses. Why are they talking about how Brooke dresses though? And this goes back to what I said before. It's because of Brooke has bigger boobs than Leah Houghton. Now, if you don't know, I find this really, really uncomfortable talking about people's body parts because I'm trying to explain to you why I think Brooke is getting hate for her body or being called out for body checking. That is why I'm putting out all these theories. It's probably because Leah Houghton leans on the smaller side while Brooke is on the bigger side in terms of her. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe I'm doing this right now. It's just so off to me. That's why I call it double standards, because at this point I don't think the internet is mad at what Brooke is wearing. I think they're just mad at her body size, which doesn't even make any sense because like she cannot control that. It's just I don't know what to say about this. I don't know if I should even proceed at this point, because even though Leah dresses worse than Brooke still gets more hate. I'm not trying to say both of them should get hate equally. They should not even get hate at all because they are grown ups, and that is why I call it double standards. Because if you cannot keep the same energy for two people where one dresses more worse than the other, then what exactly is the problem? Is it the clothes or our body? Make it make sense.
And like I already said, Brooke is 22 years old. She's an adult. For me, I don't necessarily think she's body checking. Definitely, people wear crop tops or they wear bikinis and so on and so forth. But for me, I do think that Brooke is still keeping it cool. She's just being herself. She has said this in a video already that she's just showing her personality more.
I swear, whenever I make a video where I'm feeling myself, I get one of these comments. Like, yes, I'm still a Christian. Of course. It's like y'all think if you feel like you look pretty, you post a video where you think you look pretty, all of a sudden you're not a Christian. Like, what?
Do I necessarily think that that's body checking? Yeah, she does show her body, but that doesn't mean that it is body checking. I'm not sure she wants validation from other people about what she thinks about her body. But then it is not her fault that people are accusing her of body checking, because I've looked at most of her videos and I do not think that she's body checking at all. She's just making videos in a crop top or whatever she's wearing. I'm gonna use an example, although there are multiple examples to this. Brooke will post a video, let's just say in a dress, and her boobs are out. Then boom, the comment section is flooded with her being a pick-me or her looking for attention. And this happens almost every single time that it starts to get concerning. I don't know if it's men that are just jobless or don't know what to do, and the only thing they could think is to leave a comment under a TikToker's video calling her a bop. I do have to say that the public reaction is quite split as usual. People are defending her while people are saying that she's doing it intentionally, because that's how almost every single one of her videos are. Defending her is the best thing to do, because Brooke is not at fault for all the disgusting men in her comment section saying very horrible things to her. But at the end of the day, you don't blame the victim, you blame the perpetrator. Does that make sense? Yes. My question is, where's the line between confidence and performative display? If you're not new here, I'm pretty vocal about beauty standards and how it affects young girls. Why do I keep on mentioning young girls? Because young girls get influenced really fast. I was once very, very young, but right now I am not very, very young, but I'm still young. At the end of the day, I know how different things affected me in life. To this day, beauty standards are still being upholded by men for women. Does that make any sense? I think this time around it's leaning more into women upholding it for other women. And I know what I'm saying. I have a lot of female friends, but a lot, I mean a few. But this has really affected them a lot. The beauty standards in general has always been messed up for women. And in this day and age, people as beautiful as Brooke will continue to get the attention over and over and over again. Does that really affect young girls? Yes, it does, because they feel like they don't have a chance if they don't look a certain way. That's why you see a lot of influencers do like 10-step routines, and somebody that doesn't even have the money to do that is thinking that they need to, if not, they're not going to look as perfect as that influencer. The body image standard being uploaded on social media is really, really messed up for women, and I will continue to say this over and over again. Since we're on the topic of standard, let's talk about Brooke Monk's Christianity. Brooke Monk is pretty open about her faith. Her bio on TikTok clearly says Jesus forever. She makes TikToks about praying, quoting scriptures, and saving herself for marriage. So you might be asking, Kelly, why did you bring up Christianity if it doesn't add to the conversation? Well, it does. The contrast between Christianity and the video that Brooke does are quite, let's just say, different. Every religion has their own rule that believers have to follow, and in most religions there's a big emphasis on modesty. At the end of the day, I just feel like nobody is perfect, so if Brooke chooses to dress like that, then no problem. The only thing that we can do as Christians is just to tell her that this is not really the best choice, but I hope that you know that it's not the best choice. Because one thing that I've noticed so far with Christianity is that people don't want to hear out, they want to realize by themselves. I hope that makes sense. Meaning in the sense that if they don't realize what they're doing is necessarily wrong to God and not to other people, they don't want to change. One thing I noticed about Christianity so far is when Christians want to correct other Christians that are kind of steering away from the gospel, people start to call them out as holier than thou or know better. But sometimes it's not the case. It's just more of, I'm correcting you on what is right and what is wrong. Don't necessarily think that their way of approach is good. No, I don't. I feel like there are better ways for you to approach talking about Christianity and following the word of God. And it's not only Christians that do this. Muslims do it too. A lot of other religions, they do it too. So it's more of like, oh, this thing you're doing is not necessarily good, but I just hope you realize later in life. The internet reactions are quite split. People are talking about the double standard and the hypocrisy that come with it. People under our comment section will say things like, even though she's Christian, she's allowed to wear anything that she wants, which is not true. When you want to follow God, you follow his word. Full stop. That's just the way it is. If you feel like the way you dress is okay, even though people don't necessarily see it as okay, I guess that is fine, but that doesn't mean that it's right. We can agree to disagree. Do you think it is fair to expect a Christian content creator to act a certain way online? Or are these expectations part of a wider problem in how we treat religious influencers? Honestly speaking, Brooke doesn't just make primarily Christian content. She makes it sometimes, so she doesn't paint herself as a Christian content creator. What I have to add to this right now is, whenever you want to take advice from somebody on the internet, you have to research. Make sure that that is what you want and you totally understand this clearly. Now let's get into Natalie Reynolds mocking and copying Brooke Monk. I'm not really going to get into who Natalie Reynolds is because I already covered her in my last video, so go watch that if you're interested. But just know that she's a troublemaker and she wouldn't rest until she causes one controversy or the other. Natalie Reynolds have gotten fond of mocking Brooke's mannerism over and over again. At this point, I can probably pull up at least 5 videos where she have done this. In this video, Natalie recreated a video that Leo Halton, Brooke Monk, and Haley made together. And that is just one, by the way. It is extremely creepy that when Brooke posts a video, Natalie almost immediately copies her and makes the exact same video. I don't know how she does this, but as I said, this person is basically just a rage baiter. That's how she gets attention and money. If she doesn't have your attention, just keep in mind that she doesn't make any money. And that is not where it stops, because Natalie has an obsession with Brooke's boyfriend. In almost every single one of her videos, she has Brooke's boyfriend picture framed in the background of her videos. And this is honestly so scary. Imagine your boyfriend's picture just sitting in the background of somebody else's video. A stranger, by the way, that's a chronic rage baiter, even going as far to make cardboard cutout of her boyfriend. At the end of the day, what I have to say right now to this is that Natalie just needed a new target, someone that could get her more views. And as you could see right now, it is working for her. Natalie still gets millions of views on almost every one of her TikTok videos. She just needs a new target, which is a more famous influencer. What can we do? Ignore her? Probably we can't, but there'll still be a new set of people who wouldn't know that she's doing this as a way to gain attention, and they want to give her more of that attention by commenting something. Now, Natalie is going after Piper and Capri. Mind you, this is a 26-year-old woman. 26-year-old. This woman is more than 8 years older than these people. How embarrassing. Don't you think that is embarrassing for a 26-year-old to be talking about 17-year-olds relationships? What I absolutely love about all this was that Brooke Monk sued Natalie Reynolds and also sent her a cease and desist. And I'm here for it, because yes, she needs to be taught a lesson. You can't just go around making TikTok like this with somebody else's boyfriend in the background of your video. How extremely disrespectful. Last but not least, let's talk about the this word of Brooke Monk. So because I cannot say this word, I'm going to be using objectification instead. There's a very disturbing rise of minors or younger looking creators being objectified online, and it's really disturbing. I touched on it in this video, so go check it out again. But at the end of the day, minors are constantly being objectified on the internet. Even creators that are basically adults, one way or the other, they are being objectified. For example, let's look at Cooking with Kaya. Cooking with Kaya blew up not because of her food, for God's sake, but because of how objectified she was on the internet. And that is not her fault at all. How can a woman, especially a black woman, get recognition for something and it's something about objectification? It is really disturbing. Women these days just blow up because people objectify them on the internet, not just as a role model but as a standard, meaning that these men online feel like they can just say whatever they want to them because they are craving for attention. That is why they posted that video in the first place, which is just crazy to me, and it just blows me away how these people say absolutely rubbish just to defend their points. Just because a woman posts a video in a very revealing dress doesn't mean that she's looking for attention. I think there's a more deeper conversation to this, which hopefully we're going to have one day. In Brooke's case, she blew up as a teenager. but her content has always attracted unwanted comments objectifying her, even though she leans more modest in tone. That's why it's not good for you to blame women for people objectifying them, but rather look at the bigger issue.
At this point, I feel like I have seen a lot of Brooke's pictures, and you could argue that she does pose provocatively, and she does have a fan fix. Now, fan fix, I don't really know how that works, but I'm not about to pay $10 to see a picture of Brooke Monk. No, I am not. So I didn't really dig much into that. However, what I did look into was people making AI pictures of Brooke Monk. Let me not even start of how creepy this is in general. AI pictures of somebody, and I want to just put it out there right now. These are not just normal pictures, they are really provocative pictures. That is just how do people do this with their clear mind? I just feel like this is extremely disgusting and should not even be done at all. How do people do this? Like, generate provocative pictures of people online using AI, and the thing is that it looks so realistic that it is scary. I don't know how to even put it. It just rubbed me the wrong way. Yes, you could agree that she poses provocatively, but I think even to an extent, most of her pictures are just normal poses. Either she's showing her leg, maybe she's bringing out her tongue. Okay, you could argue that, but then that doesn't still give you the right to create AI pictures of her and depicting her in a very weird way when she didn't. I've already said how I feel about this in general, and I don't even think this is supposed to be a conversation where there's two sides. It's just one side. It is bad. That's just the way it is. It is bad. You're not supposed to create AI pictures of somebody without their consent.
Now I'm sitting down like this. I know it's weird, but let's continue. Anyways, I want to talk about how the algorithm and the male gaze will continue to reward her appearance regardless of her intent. Right from time, I've always said that a woman is not at fault for people objectifying her. But then Brooke has no control over what she puts on the internet. Do you know why? Because it's the internet. People will always take it the way they want to and never the way you intended. I've made videos about pretty privilege and how the internet rewards beauty, and the male gaze is definitely 18. Because you see all these men and teenage boys online, they will literally look for other teenage girls or adults for them to objectify. Because to some teenage girls, the male gaze is superior, meaning that if they have the attention, almost all the teenage boys in the class, for example, they are superior to other girls. Even to now, we're living in a world run by men, so every single time they're always in every single conversation, and that's why I like to make videos on my channel regarding this particular topic. Not because I want to tame teenage girls, but because of I like to look at the bigger issue. I knew that it was not just because of one influencer that I ended up how I was before, right? It was definitely because of a system.
No, I'm just ranting.
But anyways, no matter what Brooke does, she can never just escape whatever the internet has perceived her to be. She can try to tame it down, not by her dressing differently, obviously, but by her clearing up the rumors every single time. But if she has to come out and do this, where are we as a society? Why is it that when an adult wears that, grown men still come under there and comment something bad about her? And mind you, Brooke has a boyfriend, Sam. So why is it that these men keep coming there to comment disgusting things about her? Have anybody ever thought about it? Why does she need validation from other men? Because she doesn't. So all in all, I don't think Brooke objectifies herself. The platform does, and the viewers, they do it for her, which is just crazy to me, guys. This is just crazy. Brooke has 37 million followers, so I kind of see why people constantly make up rumors about her, even though she's so unproblematic. Her showing off her body does not give you the right to say things regarding her body in a very disrespectful way. Now, I completely understand that Brooke has been doing TikTok since when she was a teenager, so people still perceive her as a teenager. Definitely, when I found out that she was 22, I was thinking she was 19 years old, but she was not. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. People still look at her as a teenager, so they feel like they have the right to tell her how to dress or not, which is definitely not the case. But what we can definitely do is talk about the bigger issue of why women feel the need to dress a certain way just to be popular, just for the male gaze. Speaking of the male gaze, let's talk about something. Parasocial relationships. Parasocial relationships are not good. I filmed the videos a while ago regarding this, but I'm not really sure if I should release it because of what I was talking about that day. It was really really deep, parasocial relationships are not good at all. You don't know this person, so why are you idolizing them? It is very, very unhealthy and it's not good at all. And just because you follow this person online doesn't mean that they have to follow your standards. That's just facts. This person has 37 million followers. If she followed 37 million followers standard, then bro, I don't know what to say, because that is literally impossible. Obviously, if Brooke is controversial and I've done controversial things, I wouldn't be saying this right now. At the end of the day, Brooke Monk isn't doing anything new. She's making the same type of videos she always has. Simple, clean, and personal, but somehow that's what makes her a target. She gets criticized for body checking when she just adjusts her clothes. She's objectified just for looking at the camera, and she's held to impossible standards just because she talks about faith and modesty. Brooke exists in this weird space where people project everything onto her, whether good or bad. And no matter what she does, someone finds a way to make it mean something more. Brooke Monk didn't create the internet's double standards, but she has become the perfect example of how deep they really go. Oh my goodness, guys, I'm literally so speechless. I don't even know how to start this. I want to say a huge thank you, like a humongous thank you for 50,000 subscribers. No, this time around, I'm not really gonna add tush anymore. Let me just do this.
Okay, I changed my mind. No, you're not going to see the video. No, I am so embarrassed because I used to dance contemporary, at least amateur contemporary. I used to dance very, very well. I don't know why all of a sudden I don't even know how to dance, and I'm not about to embarrass myself in front of thousands of people. So yes,
I am so freaking excited. I cannot believe that I hit 50,000 subscribers. It is so surreal that right now I have 50,000 people currently subscribed to my channel. Looking forward to every single video that I post. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for coming back to watch each and every one of my videos, for commenting, for liking. Honestly, it means a whole lot to me. Anyways, that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you all in the next one. Bye.